You might be wondering what I'm doing here. Some would say that maybe I've been kidnapped and I'm being forced to say this. Others might say I'm on the Nodak Chronicles right now. Either way, I'm Ruch the Rapper, and you're going to want to pay attention to this next segment.
We show up to the function and we get a lift.
It's too easy, boy, I'm getting greedy. Got it on person, you seen it on TV.
Yo, it's Dougie Davis. We got episode 1, Nodak Chronicles.
It's Xavier Bo, Devil of Esalen. And today we got Ruch the Rapper in here.
Hi, I'm Ruch the Rapper. How you guys doing?
Good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Actually, I just got done hooping. And, thankfully I'm a lot better at rapping than I am hooping, so I could actually have a career there, because it was not good. It's not good.
You got a hell of a career. I see you be doing hella numbers on Spotify.
Yeah, well, with this last Serotonin, I definitely the most streams I've had on one song. I think it just, after today, it hit 12K, which isn't a huge number by any means, but I hadn't gone over 6K on any song, and it did 12K in the first 2 months. So that was tight. The next song flopped, though. Addicted did, so I don't feel too good about that. But yeah, the numbers have definitely increased. I was probably sitting around, I want to say 130 monthly listeners for a while there. I also wasn't releasing music or anything, and then it hasn't gone under 1,000 in like 3 months, so that's been tight. It's been cool.
So I got a question, because on the Serotonin song, like, the shit was fire, but it was a completely different sound, like, I was definitely used to from you. But my question is, were you really playing the ukulele?
I don't think details are important when a song is that good, so I don't think we need to bring that up at all. No, it was a beat I found on YouTube. The producer's name was Hadium. He's actually made a couple of the beats for Real Raw Ruch, my last album. He made a couple there, and then I found that ukulele one. I was like, oh, this is tight. It was like real mellow. And I was kind of going through this phase where I wanted to kind of step away from rap, and I was like, this would be the perfect song to really do that. And so, I hit him up, and I was just like, yo, let me buy this. And he's like, yeah, sure, because, nobody's going to say no to money. Get real, right? I don't even know why I asked.
Especially when he knows, either way you could still, just take it and put it out there.
Oh, I have never done YouTube to MP3, not once.
Not once.
Don't contact Alex Duro with that question, because he'll say otherwise. But yeah, so, no, I wasn't playing the ukulele. I found the beat, bought the beat, and then, I went to Duro's studio. And we were actually recording an album at the time. And, it's still an album, but I've been recording so much music that I've kind of stepped away from releasing albums and started releasing solo songs, so I can actually take time and, really market that one song. Because if you post an album, I'll listen to, 3-4 of the songs. I'm not going through the whole album.
It's pretty much how it is with every artist, too, type of shit.
I love music.
When they draw new shit.
And when I, firmly believe that the music I'm making is, dope, it's tight, why would I put 10 of those in one? Why wouldn't I just be here's one, next month or next 2 weeks, here's another? Because then it gives you time to even, post on TikTok, post on Facebook, Snapchat.
I just promote it.
Just get the buzz going, yeah.
I'll say you are, probably one of the best in North Dakota as a whole when it comes to marketing.
You said it, Dougie.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I think I think what it comes down to, and this isn't a knock at anybody else, is I'm not approaching it from a standpoint that I want to be famous or I want to be the rapper. I am interested in that. Don't get me wrong. It'd be sick.
Ruch the Rapper.
Well, that's neither here nor there. But I'm coming from it at a standpoint of almost a business mindset. Whereas when I look at it, I'm like, what can I do today to post this where it'll see more people versus how can I dress today to make people think I'm bougie? That's the little difference there. And oh man, I put in so much time just researching all of these different social media apps and how they work and how I should be posting, when I should be posting, what content I should be posting. And I probably spend 40 plus hours a week on stuff like that. And so it's definitely not I'm just naturally good at this kind of stuff. There's a lot of research that goes behind it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do your research with it, that type of shit, so you know how to market it.
On Facebook, I noticed you're getting a lot of likes, shares, everything like that. Your page is pretty popping and everything like that. Did you ever use ads or anything like that, or how much money would you say you invested when it comes to putting your name out there? On
Facebook, not a whole lot. I did those freestyle videos 2 years now, I think. And I put some money into those, and I didn't really see any continued support from it. I got the views, and it was cool. I could say I got 50,000 on a freestyle video, 60,000 on it, but it didn't become anything after that. It was just the views at the point, and I was like, why would I spend money on something that's just going to remain stagnant? TikTok, on the other hand, I have easily probably spent 2-3 racks.
Word? Holy fuck.
Yeah, and it's cool because the thing I've noticed on TikTok is if it's dope, like with Miss Serotonin, the reason it blew up was because I put an ad in on one of the videos, and I was posting a video every single day of me in like a different location, fake playing a ukulele, because like I said, I didn't play it in the actual song. But and I was posting that every single day, and then I put an ad on one of them, and it ended up getting up to like 64,000 views. Got me probably, I want to say 1,000 plus followers. And it was cool because now those people followed me for the music, and they're there for the music, fully there for the music, and they're like supporting. And I see that when I look at Miss Serotonin getting 100 plays every single day. And that's, I mean, for a guy in North Dakota,
exactly.
Every single day, 100 people are listening to that song. It's kind of dope. And then, so I don't think I put any more ads in on Serotonin, but I kept posting and they kept blowing up. But the cool thing about TikTok is you don't have to pay for the ads, right? It has that algorithm where sometimes it just blows up. Like right now, I came in and I was showing you, every time I refreshed, there was new followers, new likes.
You were blowing up.
Because, yeah, that stuff that hits the algorithm.
On TikTok.
And that video I posted, I mean, it just passed 600,000 views. I posted it 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten 2,000-3,000 followers from that. And okay, maybe they didn't follow me because they saw my music. They followed me because I'm funny, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I could probably have a comedy tour. Realistically, it might be in the cards. Who knows? We'll see. But now, I grab those 2,000, 3,000 people that followed me for that, and while that video is blowing up, I post a TikTok of one of my songs. And right now, I'm working on a song called "Lucky." That's like a really indie, singy type song, and the hook is just. It's probably the best hook I've ever had. It's catchy, it's smooth, it's nice. And now every single person that sees that video that's doing that 600,000, 700,000 views, 9 times out of 10 they view your page, right? They go like, oh, who the fuck's this guy, right? And then the first video they see is something with my music. And it's like, it's nutty how easy it is. Well, I shouldn't say that because I definitely have videos that get like 500 views, right? But like the whole point of it is consistency. And so I do that, and now it's just building and building and building. And so that's where I think the marketing really took off when I started getting serious about TikTok. I think that was 3 months ago, and I had 500 followers. And I was like, listen, I'm going to post a video every day, 2 to 3 videos for the next however long. I'll have a video with 1 million views by the end of this month, watch. And then it happened, right? So now I feel great because I'm like, I made this marketing plan. I researched all the marketing that goes behind it, and it went exactly how I planned it to. And so I'm like, well, now I want 2 million. I haven't got there yet, but I'm still getting videos like 3 times a week doing 50,000, 60,000, and it's nuts. So I'd say the marketing, the reason I would, like your question was with, being the best, not necessarily the best, but why it's so good is because of TikTok. Because like Facebook, dog shit. Instagram, dog shit. Snapchat, getting better, because Snapchat's kind of cool because you can just send it to everybody and people viewing your story. But like all those other apps, like you're not going to know who Ruch the Rapper is on Facebook. You're not going to know it on, even on Twitter. I'm so bad at Twitter. I don't even post on Twitter.
I have that.
But yeah.
That's a foreign language.
So I'd say that the marketing only became good when I started getting on TikTok. So if you're an artist and you're watching this, jump on TikTok. I'm telling you, it will change the way your career is going. It's fucking nuts, really.
Speaking of TikTok, we just made one today. Go ahead and follow our TikTok, Nodak Chronicles.
The content's super bad. Don't follow. I'm just playing. I'm playing.
It was good till we had Ruch on.
He lost 6 followers. No, I posted the one I posted today. It was hilarious because there's this girl. It's kind of like a trend. She posted this thing and she was like, "He's a 7. But he doesn't own his own business." And then all of her friends were like, "Oh, he's a 5." And so I get with my homie and I'm like, "Hey, yo, we got to do this, right? Because I'm a piece of shit, right?" I really, I say that a lot. I'm actually a really good person, but like I definitely have some piece of shit tendencies. We're working on it.
We all do.
I quit drinking. We're working on it. We're getting there.
Yeah.
But so we started that, and I did, and it was like just weird shit. Like she's a 6, but she has an extra syllable at the end of every sentence. Like, oh, whatever, like shit like that. Like just regular, like like this is just something people like do, not like business owner. Like he doesn't have a Passat. Like, okay, so what? I walk around. I got a DUI. That's not my... Well, it was my fault. Was my fault. But I'm getting there. Yeah. I shouldn't be any less of a human because I don't have a car. It is weird because I don't know why I said Passat because I just bought a Passat like a week ago. So that was like a terrible example. That's me trying to tell you guys I'm a 10. But so, yeah, we did that. And it was like 50-50. People would like hate it or they'd love it. And now it's kind of going more they love it. But the thing that I thought was funny, I had 2 of them. Well, this one I said, okay. You guys can answer this too. She's a 10, okay? But she's 6'7", 275 pounds. And so then the game is, you say what you'd rank her with that knowledge. Would she go down? Does she stay at 10? And so I said that, right? And my roommate goes, 8. She's an 8. Which, listen, dog. I've been climbing trees since I was 3 years old. Ain't shit changed, all right? If you are 6'7", hit my line. Man, it's terrible because I'm 5'7", bro.
Yeah, I'm 5'7", too.
I love it.
What would you rate that shit?
Yeah, for real. Let's go to that.
Man, that's too scary.
Bro, think about it. If you can't reach
like
something
even
in a
my
cupboard.
girl, bro. My girl, she's like. She claims she's like 5'5", 5'4", but she like 5'2". You know what I mean? Like
I tell people I'm 6 foot.
6 foot.
No,
I love a bitch that could beat my ass, bro.
that's what I'm saying. Put me in a headlock. I don't give a fuck. Bro, for real. But so yeah, I said that.
His last girl was taking domestic violence classes. So
yours?
Yeah, no cap.
Yeah. She was. There was one day where he had a bruise right here, and it was about there for like 3-4 days.
Hey man. Equal rights.
We don't talk about those days.
No, that could get me canceled saying that. Equal rights, equal fights. No, I'm just kidding. I would never hit a woman.
Equal rights.
Yeah, I'll fight, Dykes.
No, I'd never hit a woman. No. Well, if it is consensual and in the bedroom, I have been known to aggressively tap.
See, I won't fight a girl, but I'd be damned if I'm about to get drugged by one. Like if she straight up just whooping my ass, like at some point I gotta do something.
Fucking 619, your ass choke slamming, bitch ass.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if she slaps me and like punches me a couple times, I can deal with that. But if she starts curb stomping and shit,
that's what I'm saying. And here's the issue with that is like,
oh, you trying to fight?
I feel like if you were to ever like hit a woman, this is so out of pocket. But if you were to ever hit a woman, it's kind of like fighting a homeless person, okay? Because y'all like, okay, everybody listen. We'll get there. Check this out. We've all been downtown at night before, and there's homeless people there in front of King House, and they're usually like they're pretty chill. They don't usually get on my back or nothing. But sometimes they start talking that shit. And listen, where I come from,
most of the drunk ones.
That's what I'm saying. And where I come from, listen, I ain't grow up in no suburban white neighborhood. I'm from the trailer parks, the trap houses, foster care. You know that don't slide.
I'm the new Eminem.
Nah. I really like my mother. She is a saint, and I know my father, and he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, well, he's a felon, right? Check this out. He's a felon, and he's running for county commission right now. How sick is that shit?
Oh, you got my vote.
And he's a felon?
He's a felon. Yeah, dude.
You might as well give him a shout out right now. We need to get his number. So
we're gonna get back to the homeless thing. I want to get this out there though. But like, so yeah, he was a felon. His whole life he was drinking. I mean, obviously, I'm an alcoholic and sober, so I got it from someone, right? Shout out Pops, thanks for the jeans, bro. I said that to him one time. I was like, "Why you give me these jeans?" And he was just like, "Yeah, but you're real charismatic and like can sell anything. You know, you got to take the bad with the good." And I'm like, "That's such a fucked up trade. Like, how about I just be normal and have the charisma?" And he's like, "No." But anyway,
can't do it.
Fighting a woman. And like I said, I don't condone that. I don't condone anything, really any violence at all since I got sober. I wasn't known to fight before that. But since then, like, I think fighting's stupid. And if it happens, it happens. But it's like fighting a homeless person because you either win and you're known as the guy that just beat the shit out of a homeless person, right? Mm-hmm. Or you lose and you're known as the guy that got his shit kicked in by the homeless person. There's no winning when it comes to that, right? So if there's anything you take from this today, advice from me, never fight a homeless person, never fight a woman. Just like that. It's easy. I'm telling you. And then but yeah, back to the TikTok. So there's like so many people in there saying 6'7", oh, it's an 11, all this. And I'm like, true, I want D1 babies. I get it. Like, it ain't coming from me. No shot, dog. My brother's 5'5". We ain't tall on this side. So they're like arguing in the comments saying, oh, you're wrong, all this shit. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the other one was, and you're going to learn a lot about me when I say this. My roommate asked a question. He goes, she's a 6.75, which I thought was fucking, who's rating that deep? Who's that in depth with a rate? Really? Like, what are you gauging this on? How do you get to 0.75? But he said that. And he goes, but she wears fishnets and a choker. Maybe a second goes by. And I go, that's a 10. That's a 10. I'm not gonna lie, I like that shit. It's kind of, maybe that's just because like trauma, daddy issues, mom issues. Who knows?
See, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get canceled. Get some crystals. About to get canceled after this, but I feel like a choker is like automatic transgender.
What? You ain't lying though, because they all be doing, you know what I mean? Like,
R.I.P. my career after this.
We're gonna do some editing.
I mean, like,
we're gonna get canceled in the first episode.
I'll be honest. I really don't be seeing chokers that much. Like, only on the internet. Maybe I just don't be getting out. I don't have a social life ever since I quit drinking. I mean, I was like,
you never really see a genuine e-girl in street style.
Man, and if I did, Ruch the Rapper, full, just going in. I'm not Nick Moore anymore. I'm Ruch. I'm like, what's up? So he says that, and I say that. And it was so funny, because the first comment I see regarding that, this guy goes, all 6.75s running to the store to get chokers right now. I was like, damn. And then like all these girls are like, oh yeah, I love that. Oh yeah. And I'm like, I can't tell if they hate me or if they love me. And then the whole point of what I was saying here is somebody comments from Fargo, North Dakota. And she's like getting on my ass for posting this video. She's like, I thought you just wanted to grow your music career. And, I'm not trying to insult them. I'm very, I appreciate everyone that supports me. And I understand, you're trying, this is your point of view. And you think I'm doing something wrong. You want to say that. I'm not against that. But she's saying this. And then she said I was objectifying women. One of the questions I said was, she was a 7, but she knows the entire B-movie script by heart. How is that objectifying, right? So she's saying all this. And I'm fired up. You know me. I love to talk shit. We'll get to that. Huh?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I love to talk shit. And I tapped it, and you can reply with a video. And I was on a boat with 2 chicks, 4 dudes. I wanted the dudes to get out of the video, obviously, because you know me, I gotta look like a baller. And I was gonna be like, little known fact about me, I'm a piece of shit, right? I didn't end up saying that. But that pisses me off so much. That they're saying, you can't do this. This should be something that's within your friend group. It's social media. I have no fakeness in my brand. Ruch is literally just who I am. There's no persona. There's nothing. I'm not going to change the things I talk about or do because I'm supposed to be famous. Cancel culture is so dumb. I get it in some aspects.
I fucking hate this.
But it's just because you're a celebrity does not mean you have to be this perfect human, this perfect person. We're not. I'm not a celebrity by any means, but I'm Nick Moore at the end of the day, right? Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the shit that I think is funny, right? If I'm cracking terrible jokes, just know I'm laughing. Get real. That's all I say.
And see, that's one thing I'll give it to you. I learned that from you because with me, it was I got to be Dougie Davis 24/7. This is what everybody expects. You know what I mean? And then with you, it's you're literally the same person, and inside and out, to where it's you know what I mean? You showed me yo, it's okay to not, you know what I mean, have to be the macho man all the time. You know what I mean? It's okay to show that you have a fun side. Cause I think I'm a pretty funny dude. I like to talk my shit. You know what I mean? I like to, you know what I mean? And I even started incorporating it with in my music. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it just made a huge difference, you know what I mean? Just throwing, funny lines in there and stuff, And when I start making music videos and shit, I'm already thinking, funny things that I can throw in there.
Like that one you showed me, that's on YouTube already?
Yeah.
Yeah, that little skit that you had on there? Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, man. I think I think personas are so weird, right? Because I know a lot of musicians. I've been fortunate enough that I've gotten to travel all over the U.S. I've gotten to pretty much tour with how many shows we were doing before COVID, and meet a lot of people. And there's always these personas where they're like one person on stage, and then you go in the back and they're not that, and that's just so weird to me. Like I don't get that.
When I toured with MGK, he was the biggest asshole
I don't doubt that.
In the world, you know what I mean? I'm talking. He came backstage talking about, "Don't say my name, don't touch my equipment," like all types of shit. Like,
Hey, MGK, you heard it first. He wants to smoke, bro.
No, he's an e-boy now. He's fragile.
yeah, he's fragile.
But yeah, no, I think and that's probably, to go back to marketing, that's probably another reason I'm so good at it, is because this is going to sound cocky, but I do have a personality that people like to be around. And so I post that. I post my personality. I do things I actually do. And people love that it's just kind of like they really know me. I'm not taking pictures at the Hamptons. I'm in a bathroom that has a broken sink singing songs. What's going on? You know what I mean? And I think No, but I'm saying I think that's why it's so easy. It's like, just be yourself, bro. I ain't got money. Well, sales.
I ain't broke.
I ain't broke. But I got no reason to buy a chain and wear it on stage. I did a show one time, gray sweatshorts, and a just dusty ass Slipknot t-shirt.
You know how many times I wore these pants on stage?
Probably too many, man.
I wear these in a fucking hoodie and I'm good. And maybe a snapback if I'm feeling flashy.
I did have one show when I first started. Man, what was I? I've been like 18, 19. I was just a little baby. Which is funny because I was shotgunning beers on stage during the performance. And at the end of the performance, the guy goes, "Yeah, he's only 18." And I'm like, "Oh, why would you say that?" But I dressed up flashy for that. I felt so uncomfortable afterwards. So I was like, "That's not me, bro. That's not me at all." So I got a mullet because that's me.
I remember when you first got the mullet, I was like one of the first people you sent it to.
That first one wasn't as good as this one, though. That first one was kind of, there was a bit too much fade on that boy. That was not, I definitely looked like the bad guy mullet, you know what I mean?
Little farmer.
Yeah. And I chewed at the time, too. So, people would, see me and just assume I'm, the worst kind of human. He's like, "Oh, yeah, that dude's definitely racist. I want to hang out with him."
Alabama.
And I'm like, don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. That is not me. I am no shot. It's kind of funny. Just having the mullet. I love it. It's great. It's kind of making a comeback, which is weird. My brother got one, I want to say he was a freshman in high school, which was probably 2014. He said, "Dude, listen, it's going to make a comeback. It's going to be super cool." And I'm like, he's like, you should get one. Seriously, dude. And I'm like, I'm never getting a fucking mullet. Right? And then 5 years later, I decided to transition to indie music, and here I am with a fucking mullet and a dangly earring, and I'm like, damn it, he was right. They came back. Yeah.
You got the earring, you got the glasses too.
I just copped these today.
Word?
Yeah.
Where'd you get them?
That's not important. Maybe I stole them. I found this old dude, and I was like, "Hey, man."
$5.
Play a 654 right now.
No, I went to Zoomies because I needed to get a T-shirt because I just didn't do laundry, and I didn't have any clean shirts. And I'm like, well, I can't pull up Dusty. So we went and copped a shirt real quick, and then I saw him, and I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
I got that's where I got my last pair too, but I like the circle ones.
Zoomies kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie.
They got some
I
fire.
feel weird going in there sometimes because I'm like, I just feel like I shouldn't be shopping in a store that looks and sounds like this. But then I see some of the stuff they got there, and I'm like, cool, I like it.
You think you feel weird? Look at me walking up in there in a skateboard shop. You know what I mean?
Nigel Huston or Houston, whatever the fuck it is. I haven't watched skateboarding forever. I used to liked believe that.
Yeah, he likes skateboarding. I'll bust my
This
ass.
was back when I was a lot smaller. I was way small, was a tiny human. Hadn't hit puberty yet. I'd be doing kickflips and shit. I get on a board now, broken leg. I promise, no shot I could do that. Man, we should talk about our first time we met. How's that?
Yeah, to that story. You've been waiting on this at the dope.
Yeah, you gotta definitely tell this story.
I'll tell my side because that's the correct side.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dougie was trying to fuck my girl. No, I'm just playing. It was fucking, whose thread was it? It was somebody's thread about shows.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly whose it was. I think it was Zach Lucy. And Zach Lucy's my boy. He's done a lot of production for me, made me a lot of beats. But you commented on there, said something. You were talking some shit.
No, what it was like a mixtape, and it was like North Dakota's
the
hottest.
Nodak tapes.
Yeah, the Nodak tapes.
I killed that.
Which I was gonna name the show, by the way, until I remembered about that.
Damn, that'd have been something.
Yeah. But it was a Nodak tapes, and it said like hottest artists in North Dakota, and it had like a list. And I was just thinking of like so many artists are left off. I was like, there's nobody even, from Grand Forks. I was like, Jansen's not on there,
Jansen's on it.
Jansen's on it.
Jansen's on
Okay.
it.
But yeah, but I was just like, all these guys are homeboys. And then, like, it just started up a whole bunch of shit.
It's funny because, like, I seriously could not give less shits about it, right? Not the tapes, like that conversation. But I was pumped to be a part of it. It was kind of cool because I feel like in the beginning and even in like the last year and a half, I was never really taken seriously for some reason. Like the only dudes that did were like Matt Becker, Crazy Flow really fucked with me still does, always has. But like a lot of the other rappers just kind of like, I just feel like it was like, and it was ridiculous because like, yo, I'm wrapping circles around you, bro. You know what I mean? That's not a shot. That's not a shot. And so I got put on that and that was cool. But yeah, then you commented. I just came in there. I was like, fuck you. I didn't even say anything. Just fuck you. And then he responded. He came at my ass. I said, fuck you. And I started saying so. And we went back and forth for like 2 hours. And then I ended up going to the studio. And Zach Lucy was in there because it was funny. It just lined up because we already had planned to be in the studio that night like a week before. And that happened. I said, yo, let's make a diss track. As like not an actual one because I just put verses on there. Like I really just rapped on the track. But in the hook, I said like a couple lines. It was like, fuck you. And then we took Doug Dimmadome from fucking Fairly Odd Parents. And I took his face, put it on it and said Dougie been a bitch.
Yeah.
And I dropped it on YouTube. And it was actually like a really good, like I was rapping like my ass off on it. But then I deleted it because I was just like, and I texted you too. I was like, listen, like it's not an actual diss track, obviously. Like I have no beef with you. We just thought it'd be funny. I posted it. And then didn't really squash the beef. It was still kind of fuck you, it's on site type shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm working at T-Mobile. And I'm sitting at work one day in the mall, and this guy walks in. He said, hey, I need a phone. And I was like, why the fuck this guy looks so familiar for? And I was like, that can't be him. He goes, grabs the phone, leaves. I walk into the back office. I go, hey, yo, Cannon. That was my manager at the time. I go, who was that? Who's that guy out there? I'm like whispering. He's gone. I don't know why I'm whispering. And first of all, before I continue with the story, that is a terrible way to have on-site happening. You saw me and didn't do shit.
I didn't even look. The funny thing is,
That's all I'm saying.
No. I didn't even look at your profile. So like even when the story goes on, like even we was like literally okay. So we gotta finish the story. Yeah, we gotta.
So that happens, right? The next day I get told, hey, yo, you gotta go work at this store. I was like, fuck, that's where he works. I'm shivering. No, I'm just kidding. And so I show up. We look at each other. Nothing gets said for 10 minutes.
I didn't look at your profile picture or anything. So like I honest to God had no idea.
That hurts me. You don't know.
No idea. And then he was sitting there and he was looking at me and he comes up and he's like, do you go by Dougie? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, I was the one you were arguing with yesterday. And I was like, what? And you were like, yeah, you're like, I just like trolling people. And I was just like, I remember I was sitting there and I was just like, damn, because this was literally the very next day. We literally had to work an 8-hour shift together. Literally, they just put us in T-Mobile.
That was great. But then, we got to talking and everything, and I was like, yo, I fuck with this guy. And he was like, yeah, you gotta fuck with True. And I mean, now we're homies. So like, exactly. But it was just, it was fucking hilarious because it started with me just being a punk ass. And then now we're homies. But yeah, that was some. Just the very next day to have to work with you, I'm like, fuck it. That entire time I was like, had my fist clenched. I was like, if he goes, I'm going. I don't give a shit if we're in a T-Mobile, man.
I remember I even like texted my manager at the time. I was like, yo, you remember that motherfucker I was talking shit with yesterday? And I was getting all mad? And he was like, yeah. I was like, that's the dude they brought from the mall.
Fucking incredible.
He's like, no way. He's like, swear to God. I was like, I'm telling you right now, we close it together.
Shit, I won't lie to you, bro. Like, most of the shit that I used to have out like long ass time ago, bro. Like, I feel like my old shit was better than my new shit. Because I feel like I was more focused on, like, my wordplay and, like...
I feel like, my old bars.
Yeah.
Definitely not my flow, but my old bars.
Well, and when you first start doing it, you're always so much hungrier.
You want to be, like, a perfectionist when you, like, start doing it at first. Like, oh, shit, yeah, my bad, bro.
Yeah, I mean... Because when I first started, like, I had no intentions. Because, like, we were kind of talking about it earlier that I've gone indie, you know, Miss Serotonin having that ukulele. But it's like I've taken this, you know, this trend to go towards indie. And I have this last one that came out, Addicted, is like fucking punk rock. And it's so cool to do that. So I don't really have to worry about the lyricism now. But when I first started, I swear to God, I was trying to be a fucking little Eminem. I was saying shit like hawk venom in them, and I was like, hell no. I look back at that now, and I'm like, who are you, dude? Little farm kid from a town of 900. What have you been through?
You know what I think is the funniest? Listening back to my old shit. Like, I was like, if I go deep into my email, I'll find some shit from when I was like 14, 15, and I'm over here rapping about like, oh, I smashed this chick so good. I'm like over here like, you was a virgin,
Bro, for real.
I
had this record called I can't even remember the name. It was so fucking bad. But I said, yeah, I'm about my shit. Yeah, I'm about my shit. Said shit 2 times because twice she came on my dick. I promise you at 14, I was not making women come.
That's kind of
no shot. No shot I was doing that, bro. I'm in that bitch 3 minutes flat. I'm out.
He's like, I'm still trying to figure out how to make my damn self come.
Listen, I felt great. It was great for me. I was like, yeah. And she's kind of like laying there like, get out of my house, bro. I was like, man, that was terrible.
Uber's here.
Oh, dude, I have so many bad Uber stories. I'll tell you this one. I'll give you guys a couple good stories out of my life today. So, picture it. This is the setting. House in Moorhead, 2 a.m. I am blackout drunk, which was a very common theme for me between the ages of 17 and 21. I hit up Shotty and I'm like, hey, come through. You stay the night, whatever. And I got whiskey dick, right? So it takes like way too long to do the job. And I was like halfway through it, and I'm like, damn, I got a cramp. Like, I'm sweating so bad. This is terrible. And we get done, and she starts like getting into bed. And I go, and keep in mind, I told her she could stay the night, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to the bathroom, ordered the Uber, came back out. She was getting into bed. Or no, yeah, I did have to order an Uber because she drove there. That's what it was. She was too drunk to leave. Which is like weird, like, how'd you get drunk when we were having sex? Like, she was kind of like buzzed before, but I think maybe it was kind of just like her trying to be like, I want to stay.
You got that whiskey?
Yeah, for real. I was just like straight vodka. So I go in the room, she's getting ready for bed, and I go, what are you doing? She goes, she goes, what do you mean? I'm going to bed. And I go, oh, hell no, Uber's on the way.
Uber's on the way.
And she goes, you said I could stay the night. I was like, yeah. And she was so upset. This woman gets up, walks out, and decks me in the chin. Granted, I'm fucking wasted, so I felt nothing. But the funniest part of that whole story, and this is the real piece of shit part of it, is that there was this girl I had been seeing, and I kind of cut things off. Because, like, I got this weird thing where, like, once I know I can have it, or there's feelings involved, or they're clingy, I'm like, back up. Yeah. I'm not about it. I'm working on that in therapy, ladies, so don't think this is me just throwing in the towel.
He'll be available
Name
in 6
is
months.
Nick Moore. No, but she came over to hang out with my roommate at the time. And she was in the room with my roommate. They weren't doing nothing, but they were, like, hanging out. Yeah. And that's the only reason I invited this woman over. And she thought I was, like, in love with her, all this. And I was like, hell no, get out. And she was so mad. She blocked me. She did. I was heartbroken.
She gonna see this and she gonna be like, that motherfucker.
Dude, I hope there's like so many stories I have that are just terrible that if I tell them, I pray the person on the receiving end fucking finds. I'll tell you this one, and I pray that this one goes to the person that's about.
Put it out there.
This is gonna change everybody's viewpoint on me. I can't believe I'm telling these stories. I gave Space Pod a good few wins, so I got to give you guys. All right, I don't have a license. Went through this earlier. I got a DUI. I'm getting it back like next week. Not important. I'm at the studio. Everybody's drunk but me. No one can give me a ride home. I don't want to pay fucking $40 for an Uber. It was a Saturday. Shit's like, why would I pay $40 for that? Text this chick who matched with me on Tinder. And I go, hey, can you give me a ride home? She goes, only if you fuck me. I should have known from the jump when that was the response that this is a terrible thing to get involved with. But you know me. I'm a whore. I say, yeah, let's run it. Then she pulls up. I go out, get in the car, realize I have been catfished. Now listen.
That's the fucking worst.
I don't have an issue like if you're heavy or set, right? Like if you're pretty, you're pretty. That's what it comes down to. I don't really think weight has a huge factor on that. That's my opinion. But she was not pretty, and I'm like, fuck.
Like nothing what she looked like online.
Not at all.
But you pinky promised.
But I'm a man of my word. Kind of. I look at her and I go, hey, how you doing? Right? Hit her with that unspoken riz, shake the hand, like, what's up? You know? And she goes, we're going to have to bleep that out. I don't need people knowing where I live. Now, keep in mind, I have never told this woman where I live.
Yeah.
I don't have my snap maps on. There's no way a person would know where I live without me telling them. But she says that, and I go, how do you know where I live? And the music's really quiet, but I hear what it is, and it's one of my fucking songs. I swear to God, I text my room and I say, hey, I'm turning my snap maps on. If I go off the map for 4 hours, because, you know, it like tells you the last time they're on there, I say, if I'm off 4 hours, I've been murdered. And I just need you to tell my grandma. I love my grandma. I said, she got to know. He goes, okay. So we get in the car. I'm not doing this in my house. There's no way I'm going to let my roommate see me bring in this broad. And she goes, I know a place. And I'm like, fuck, this is where I'm dying. I said, word. And I'm like, why'd you say word? Just say I got to go home. Takes me out to this fucking middle of nowhere ass fucking abandoned barn. I'm like, oh my God. Turns around and she goes, you ready? I'm like, I guess I don't have a choice. So I get in the back seat. It's a fucking Honda Accord. I'm a bigger guy. She's bigger than me. I don't even know how I'm going to make this work. Like, I'm not even horny. I'm not getting creative with the way I'm going to make this happen, right? But I'm like, fuck it.
Gotta get it over.
Get back there. And I'm like, yeah, just give me head to start, right? And I'm like praying that like I just bust quick. Didn't happen. She's going, and I tell her to stop. And I finish, like I get myself off, and then I go, oh, my roommate's actually gone. We should go back to my crib, right? Because I was like, it'll take me 20 minutes anyway. No, that's a lie. But I say, it'll take me 20 minutes anyway. She brings me home. And I make her park 2 blocks down from my house. And I say, I got a dog. I do. I have a pit bull. Her name's Oxy. Fantastic dog. Loves everybody. In no way, shape, or form is she going to bark at this woman when she comes up. But I make it sound like she is just vicious. I'm like, I got to get her locked up before you come inside. She will bark. She'll jump all over you. And I just don't want to see you get hurt. And so I get out and I walk up to this house. This is not my house. And I cut through the alley. I go home. I take a shower. I feel disgusting. I felt like I was just like trapped, like kind of like an altar boy and a priest. Like I just feel like I've been taken advantage of. And so I get up there. I take the shower. Forget about her. I forget that she's parked outside. Because what I assume is if I don't text you back in 10, 15 minutes, you would leave. Because like if somebody did that to me, I'm like, I don't give a shit what you look like. I'm gone. I get out of the shower. 73 missed calls on Snapchat.
Holy fuck.
I counted because I thought it was hilarious. I was like, Jesus. 73.
Red flag.
So I text her and I'm like, sorry, my roommate was actually here and his girlfriend was in an argument. I'll be right down. Dude, I am in bed. I'm in my boxers, no t-shirt. I am not going. It's the middle of winter. What do I look like going outside just like that in North Dakota? So I'm coming down. 10 minutes go by, she goes, where you at? And I go, oh, I can't find your car. And I talk to my roommate, I say, get in here, watch this. He goes, what are you doing? I said, take a peek at that car over there. He looks, it's her. I say, can you flash your lights a couple times so I can like find you? He starts doing it. I'm like, I can't see you. I can't see you at all. Can you please keep doing it? Oh, trust me, we ain't even at the bad part yet, dog. She keeps doing it. And I go, I was like, man, I can't see you. You should honk your horn. It is 2 a.m. I live in a neighborhood that has a lot of houses, a lot of families. The wrong place to be honking. She goes, boop. I said, did you do it? And now my window's open. I'm on FaceTime with another chick, this girl I'm seeing. And I was like, check this out. This is so funny. I'm seeing her now. We weren't seeing each other at the time. She reminds me of this all the time. That she's like, remember when you did this? I'm like, dude, grow up. But so I like turn the camera on. And she's like, beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, you should really just lay on it. Because like I can't hear it. Like I swear I walked right where you were. And I don't want to lose you tonight. She goes, all right, I'll honk. Fucking lays on it, bro. 10, 15 seconds. I go, yeah, I still can't. I can't hear it. And she goes, okay. I said, oh, listen, I'm going to walk to the stop sign at the end of the road. Just pull up there. She goes, okay. I'll watch her drive by. I duck down. You know, don't want to take any chances. She goes, I'm here. What should I do? And I'm on the phone with her. And I go, keep driving. And I hang up the phone. It was, but like, you know, I sound like a piece of shit in this story, right? But the other thing we got to think about, why were you there for 2 hours waiting for me? Listen, it's not that good.
Maybe she was like your biggest fan. She probably went home like, I don't want you to know I ripped all your posters off the wall.
You have one less monthly listener. And I'm like, okay. That's actually why I go so hard on TikTok. I got to make up for that. No, I say I got a lot of those bad stories, but like, I really don't. I try to be. A lot of them came from when I was still drinking, and I mean, you know me. You know, I was a terrible person when I drank. Fight every single night. Go home with a different lady. Tell them I love them. Wake up and I say, "Who are you?" And it's part of my past, and like I don't necessarily like it, but it happened. And so like I go out of my way now to like not be that guy, but every now and then you just got to kind of remember. You know what I'm saying? Remind yourself who you are.
Humble beginnings, my bro.
But yeah, that was weird. I told that to my work crew, and they look at me differently now, which is fair, but I'm still creeped out she knew where I lived. Or something.
Did you say it like in a song or something?
Why would I put my address out there? Hell no.
That's true.
Enough people don't like me. None that are like hard by any means, but
She gonna see this and be like, he's still in Fargo.
he remembers me.
Yeah.
Hit me up on the gram. I know his address. No,
Bro, she was like talking about like, I was like, so we were on the ride home from after she gave me head. And this is I just got the ick. Like, this is probably why I didn't invite her up. I was like, so, what? First of all, on the way home, she got a call from her dad. Listen, she's 23. Apparently, she's borrowing her mother's car. So, first of all, that made me feel like really weird. But she starts yelling at her dad, and she literally in front of me, to her father says, maybe if you didn't drink a 30 rack every night, I wouldn't be like this. And I'm like, oh my God.
And he was already dirty because this was like, what, 2 o'clock in the
a.m.
morning?
He's gone.
You already know he's fucked up.
He's on a second 30 rack, probably. But so she says that, and it gets quiet. I'm like, because that was fucking, I was like, damn, like, I got one rule. If I'm around people and I'm in public, you act right. It's simple. Even if, like, I get a call like that, I'm calm. I'm just like, all right, we'll talk about it later. If I'm in public with homies and they're acting up, I check them. I say, hey, we don't do that. You got a reputation, right? Hey, she did not follow that. And so it's quiet. I'm sitting there. I'm kind of like sitting like this in the car, like facing the window, kind of like that kid on the road trip, like looking at the clouds. He's got the speck on the window.
Like that girl that's ready to get dropped off.
For real. I'm like, hell no. But so I hate quiet. So, of course me, I go, so what are you into? And she looks me dead in the eyes. She goes, I like hunting and fishing. She didn't really sound like that. She didn't have a southern accent.
Oh, shit, I was gonna
she
say
goes,
the accent was there too.
She's like, I like hunting and fishing. And I was like, oh. She goes, yeah, I can't wait to show you my lake spot where I fish. And I was like, in my head, that's not going to fucking happen. Hell no. I go,
At 2 a.m. at a first time meeting.
For real. I'm like, you're already picturing us like spending the
Let me show you where we're going to get married.
January, bitch. There is many months before summer in North Dakota.
And no offense either, but that's like the whitest shit you could ever fucking say.
She could have said hiking. She could have said hiking.
Yeah, that's true.
I rock with ice fishing. It's kind of fun. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway,
You ain't going to catch me on that.
I'm gonna get you in that motherfucker.
Hell no.
And so I go, okay. Oh, yeah. Fishing's cool. Hunting is fun. I don't do either of those things. Like the ice fishing every now and then. But I grew up in a farm town. Like, didn't have a choice. I go, well, what's your music taste like? She goes, George Strait, Morgan Wallen, and like 3 other country artists. And I was like, is this what my fan base is? Like, country people? Am I like doing this completely wrong? And I have nothing against country people. I'm from the country, and I loved growing up there. I think it made me who I am.
You don't fuck with country music though?
It depends. I gotta be in the mood. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just like go on the ox and
I
throw
gotta be off a 30 rack listening to like.
Yeah, I challenge you to make a country song.
Just listener.
I gotta be like cooking or like doing something real laid back. You know what I mean? And kind of like background music. So it's not that I don't fuck with country music, but I'm not. It's not something that I'm gonna like search
That's
out.
my challenge to you. Because you do rap.
I already
you
made
do
a country
indie.
song. It's just
You already
never,
got a
it's
country
just
song?
never coming out. Yeah, just to see if I could.
Okay.
Did you use that?
I said, yep. I go.
You gotta use the accent.
I'll take a trip down to Dallas, then to New Orleans. Get lost in Colorado with the marijuana leaves. Some shit like that.
Bars.
Something about like finding my love. I don't know. Some corny like, I'm drunk and my dog. I miss him because you left. You know, shit like that. But and then she goes on to say, yeah, I've been to like 40 George Strait concerts. It's like, oh, cool. You go to concerts. So like in my head, instead of being like going on with the conversation, I'm like, you're gonna come to my concert, so I'll make some money off you. Terrible. Like I said, business mindset 24/7. And then she proceeds to say, yeah, but the thing with George doesn't even say his full artist name. Just says George, like she just be kicking it with him. Him and his dad, her dad, and him just throwing back a 30 rack. It's the thing with George is he doesn't perform that well. I feel like he just stands in the same spot and sings. I'm like, listen, if I'm as big as George Strait and this entire fucking crowd knows the words to the song, I'm gonna do the same thing. If I ain't gotta go crazy, I'm not. Look at me. I gotta conserve a little energy, man. And it was just gross and it was scary, and I don't ever want to go through that again. Sorry.
I'm sorry you had to bring it up.
The worst part is I got up. You know what I mean? Like, what does that say about me? That like I was so disgusted by this, and I still like was like ready for work. Man,
Thinking with your other brain.
Think what you did.
God gave men 2 heads and only enough blood to operate one at a time.
Facts.
Jot that down. Jot that down.
Put that in your back pocket.
Yeah. Do it. I'll put you in my back pocket. What's up? Y'all ever go to the Roger Maris Museum?
Yeah. Actually, that's when I showed you at the mall. That little museum with the baseball player.
Yeah. That shit looks pretty.
Every time I talk to somebody, for no good reason, I'm like, I'll kiss you at the Roger Maris Museum.
It's so romantic.
It is, bro. You got the dogs behind you, and there's just these old people talking about this guy that was really good at baseball. It's great.
Oh, hey, a question I wanted to ask you, bro. Like, how did you start rapping? Like, you said you like started out like the genre was like rap, right?
Yeah. So,
like, what inspired you? Like, was it an artist or like was it like a specific like incident or like you know what I mean type shit?
if you're watching this, be very prepared to judge me. So I'd always really liked poetry, right? This isn't the judgmental part. I still write poetry. I think poetry is great. 90% of my songs I write start out as a poem. I just, I love to write. I was writing books. I was writing movie scripts. I haven't really gotten into that part of everything yet, though. Still just kind of focusing on music. But I was like, I'm a pretty good, poet. Rap should be easy. But I never got into, the making music part. Like I said, I'm from a very small town of country people. 99% of them listen to, if they're listening to rap, it's a band, a thing called Jaja Boys, where they just talk about, having spit cups and going to mud bogs.
Oh, those type of rappers.
Yeah, and it's don't get me wrong, some southern rappers are hard. Yellow Wolf, he is fucking tight.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But he ain't I got my mud jug and I filled it up. I'm like, what do I do with that? I don't have a mud jug. But so I'm like, I couldn't make music. There's no way I can't do this. I'm from this town. Yeah. Fast forward a month. I'm at my homie's apartment. Well, his dad's apartment, but his dad was never there, so it was the homie's apartment. We're chain smoking Marbreds, chewing tobacco, playing NBA Jam on the PS3, and a Macklemore song comes on. It's his Can't Hold Us one. And I'm like, I love this song. Yeah. And I rap the first verse perfectly. I nail it. My eyes get so fucking wide after I finish the verse, and I look around the room. Everybody's looking at me. They're like, yo, you did that. Looking back now, not that impressive. Not that impressive. And I go, guys, I really think I could be a rapper. And I kid you not, that is what jump-started me into becoming a rapper, was that I rapped a Macklemore verse correctly, and 14-year-old me firmly believed that was all it took. And then, I started making not very many tracks. I was like recording off my phone on GarageBand, fucking piece of shit Bluetooth headphones. Had no idea how to mix, none of that. But I just started it. I started writing the songs. I started recording them, releasing them. And I dropped a song called Secrets in 2018. So I'd have been 17 at the time. And it's such a bad song. Like, I hate it. But it is also my most played song by like 70,000. For some reason, the country people loved it. It's kind of like an EDM type thing. It sampled Matt Mason and the hook and everything, and then I just rapped on it. It's like at 90,000 plays right now. And so people were rocking with it, and I'm like, oh, this is tight. I should keep doing this. And then I recorded a song called Father Pamper, because I thought it'd be hilarious if I had an alter ego that was kind of like Lil Yachty, like those guys, and I called them Lil Pamper.
Oh, so you were like trying to like clown like the new age rappers type shit in a way?
Right, but then the song ended up being so fucking hard. I sampled Mr. Sandman by the Cordettes.
Oh.
That Mr. Sandman, bring me your trees.
And I went in on this thing. Like, it was great. I made my voice sound real deep. I hadn't hit puberty yet, so it really just kind of sounded like it does now. Yeah. Released that. People loved it. But I was taking, like, a long time. I was in high school in a small town. I had nobody I knew. And then a guy named Dopey T out of jail. That's terrible. I just laughed after I said that. People are going to hate me. He reached out to me and he was like, hey, man, I'm doing this show. I want you to come perform. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like in high school. I'm like, this is it. This is my big break. It wasn't, obviously. But so I went and I performed, and it was really cool because it's my first show, and I do the song Secrets, and there's probably like 30 people that showed up for me, which is crazy that I thought that was a huge number then, because that's increased exponentially. But they're all singing the song with me, saying the words. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, this is so dope. I got to keep doing this. Ended up meeting some Fargo rappers, made the decision that I needed to move here. But then I quit, like, making music for a while, because I was with this group that was, like, really, like, lyrically, like, they wanted to spit. They wanted to rap. Mm-hmm. And they're good at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're dope. But at that point, that's kind of when I started, like, leaning away from that, where I didn't want to just make hard rap songs. I was like, I want to make some stuff like people move to, people have a good time to. They know, like, we're singing, like, there's hooks on here. It's not like
feel good time music.
Yeah, we're not like sampling Biggie saying something and putting that as the hook. Like, I want to make shit people are gonna remember. And so I ended up leaving. I made one song and dropped it, and it did terrible. It did not go the way I planned, and it kind of like shook me. Like, I'm here in Fargo. I thought I'm the greatest thing ever. I'm not. And now there's like people aren't playing my music. So I took a break. And then I would say in 2019, I met the crew that I still rock with, OTB, Duro, Kid Vision, Gabe Prince. I met these guys, and they're all my age. And they were like, hey, we make music. Apparently I met Zach at a party, blackout drunk. And I don't remember meeting him, but I like told him, I was like, I'm going to come to your house and hang out. But then I got around these like-minded individuals that made music. Like, Duro sings, little known fact, Duro can also rap really fucking good.
I think he showed me one time.
Yeah, there's been like 3 or 4 times that he's out-rapped me, and I'm like, I got to rewrite my verse. He's so talented. But so I get around these guys that are all kind of doing what I want to do. And like, they're experimenting, they're doing this, they're doing that. We start throwing shows, things start happening. Oh my gosh, we're getting big, we're touring, we're going all around. I'm opening for Mercules, Riff Raff, Montana 300, Juicy J. That was Duro, that part wasn't me. But like, individually, like, we're all doing crazy stuff. And then COVID, full stop. And that's when I turned 21, and I drank all the time. I was constantly just hammered. No motivation. I'm couch surfing. I'm getting jumped because I fought too many people. I'm getting my ass kicked all the time. If I can not paying rent, I get kicked out. I get evicted. I have no license. I had my license for 6 months. Lost it to a DUI. And then this is kind of when things changed. Was about 2 months after the DUI. Something in my head just clicked. Like, I'm sitting here. I was 350 pounds, homeless, working at a bar for $8 an hour. And it's a small town, so the tips do not make it anything more. I'm like, this isn't it. I need to get back to music. I need to go write this. I need to make this album. I quit drinking and I quit doing drugs at that point. I'm just kidding. I don't do drugs. And I wrote this album called Trials of a Troubadour. And that we made a music video for one of the songs. And that's really when it like switched, that it clicked, that I was like, oh, I don't have to just make rap music. Like at this point, my voice developed to where I could sing hooks, I could do stuff like that. And so I started heating up. And then I found out TikTok, all this shit. I was not good at TikTok for the first year though. I was garbage. I had like no followers.
I mean, who really is though in the first try?
Yeah. But people really rocked with this new sound. And that kind of like woke something up in me, you know? And it was cool. I was like, oh, I can do this. Like, I can experiment and people will still listen. Because at that point, I'd built a really loyal fan base in North Dakota. And so people, like, were really listening to my shit, and it was cool.
I think Fargo is, like, the best place for, like, up-and-coming artists in North Dakota. If you're going to be in North Dakota. Because, like, I came up from Grand Forks, and it's like when I came up from Grand Forks, like since I was like 16, it was like I was like it, you know what I mean? Like not to toot my own horn, but like you know what I mean? Like I was it in Grand Forks, and then I moved to Fargo, and it's like nobody even knew who I was. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here like, you know what I mean? Like trying to message local Fargo rappers. They leaving me on red and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here like, don't they know? I'm Dougie fucking Davis. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? You got me all the way fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think the scene's is almost changed in that way. And I don't want to say it's like anything me and OTB did, but we had this studio that we pretty much just like it was a collective, it was a sanctuary. Invited all these rappers, like everybody could just come hang out, come kick it, and people started opening up a little bit more to like helping each other out. And Crazy Flow is like one of the guys that have like been really supportive of that. He gets a bad rap for some reason when people talk about him, like other artists.
I've never met him. I always hear about him,
but he's like one of the nicest people I know. And then, I mean, he's about it. Don't get me wrong. Allegedly. Who knows? But, like, he's not, like, I'm not saying, like, when I'm saying he's, like, the nicest guy, I'm not saying, like, he's a bitch or anything like that. Because he's not. He's, like, definitely, like, I wouldn't mess with him. But he's, like, so kind. He's so nice. Always wanted to help people out. Always wanted to do stuff like this. And I had, like, no clue, because from what I had heard about him was he wasn't like that. But every single time I was in a room with him, he's putting me on game. He's helped me out. He said, hey, you should do it like this. When you perform, this is what you should do. And so he started really doing that. And, like, we're talking right now about throwing some shows together. But, like, I've noticed, like, a lot of people have opened up to that in this, like, let's see everyone succeed, which is how it should be. Because it's just, if you don't support everyone, like, I take Atlanta for a good example. Way back when you had, like, T.I., Outkast, like, all these guys. They just got together and they made it happen. You know what I mean? And Atlanta got so big in hip hop because of that. All those guys that got together, they're like, let's run it.
And that's the number one reason why we made this like podcast, is because it's just like you said, like they made it happen. They put Atlanta on the map. We're over here sitting in North Dakota hoping that somebody in New York discovers us. If someone in Atlanta discovers us.
Some shit.
When in the meantime, what we could really be doing is putting each other out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
like,
that's exactly how it should be. And it's like the thing that pisses me off so much. Artists will say stuff like, gotta move out of Fargo to go make this happen. No, the fuck you don't.
There's so many.
Social media alone, you could be in fucking a cabin in the woods 900 miles from civilization. And just because of social media, you can build stuff.
Exactly.
I bet you right now, if I pulled up TikTok, I got 600 more followers from when we started the interview. And it's like,
just that quick.
That's what I'm saying. You just gotta, like, you're on social media. It's so easy. You don't have to move. And I have this conversation with Dara all the time. It's like, if I blow up, I don't want to do it somewhere else. I want to do it in my hometown. I want to do it in my home state. I want the people that support me here to really see it happen.
Exactly.
Why the fuck would I move to LA to do that? Now, if social media wasn't huge, yeah, that's probably something you got to do. But it's like, it's so easy now. You know, one video pops off, musically, anything, type like that. So, like, it's not easy. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work behind it, but it's easier than it's ever been.
But you're right, though. All it takes is one song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit, people blowing up off of, like, just snippets of their shit, too.
But yeah, so back to the rap. And it's funny you bring up, like, when did you start rapping? Because, like, I'm really not rapping anymore. You know, I got a couple of, you know, records on, or songs on the record that it has rap in there. Like, there's still that feel to it where they're like, I'm talking fast type stuff. But like, I made Miss Serotonin, like we talked about, and it's like, I'm singing, I'm just doing that, and I loved it, and people loved it. So I started going out of my way to find these like indie songs that I can just sing on, and it's so much more fun than rap. I'm not even.
So I got a good question for you. So like you say, you're kind of liking going like the more indie route and everything like that. You ever like think about like eventually like changing the name? Like, what if you stay strictly indie and your name is still Ruch the Rapper?
So
you know what I mean?
That's a good question. It also has a funny story because when I originally planned on going that indie route, when I told myself like, this is what we're doing. I had to talk with all like my close friends, people that had their hands kind of in my music career. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I think this is the right sound. I'll still rap every now and then. Like, there'll still be some tracks on albums that I've rap every now and then. I'll throw some out there. But this feels right. And so I go to DistroKid, and I change my name to Ruch. I think if you look it up on Apple Music, it's Ruch right now. But then when Serotonin dropped, it dropped on the wrong Spotify account, right? That's what I'm saying. So I went to release it as Ruch because everything had already changed. It was Ruch on everything. And I was like, that's a great idea. And then I went to the wrong account. I'm like, fuck. So I had.
Then it blew up.
And then I had to move everything to Ruch the Rapper, because at that point, like, all these people are coming from TikTok to listen to that, and then that's the only song. You're not gonna hear my shit like April Showers with like me and Tony the Butcher where we went. Oh, that was such a good song. You're not gonna hear Wolves. You're not gonna hear all those other ones and become a fan. You're gonna hear this one song, Forget About Me, in a week. So I had to change it back to Ruch the Rapper, and I was like, God, I hate this. But then I thought it'd be fucking hilarious if it was always Ruch the Rapper, and I'm just like not rapping. And so that's kind of like where I'm sticking with it. And it's not in stone or anything. It could probably go back to just being Ruch. But for the time being, I mean, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, if you are a fan of my music, you know that sometimes I rap, sometimes it's indie music. It's not always going to be one or the other. But if you find me on a song that you heard on TikTok or a friend was playing, you are not going to give a shit that says the rapper in there when I'm singing. And so, I mean, it's a possibility, but like I said, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious.
Especially knowing your personality. I see where you're
You know what I mean? Like,
I
I was like, because I thought about it, and I was like, I laughed. I was like, that's hilarious. Because, like, I said it on, here's a quick marketing tip for you guys. Tinder, this is what I do. Slide right on everybody. Every single person, which has benefits and cons, for sure. But then I send them my song, and this last one, it was Miss Serotonin, or Addicted, but we'll just use Miss Serotonin for example, because there's really no rap, there is no rap in it. And it says Ruch the Rapper. And I send it to him, and I'd be like, what better first impression than music taste? This is my favorite song right now. What do you think of it? And I had so many people be like, oh, I'm not a fan of rap. And I'm like, oh, take a listen. And they're like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to like it. And they're like, oh my God, I love it. It's not rap. And like, that's kind of what the funny part to me is. They're like, Ruch the Rapper, oh, he's going to be a rapper. And then it's just like, Miss Serotonin, where'd you go? And it's like sad boy shit.
I will say, though, I'm very disappointed to know that you weren't playing the ukulele.
Man, fuck you.
It's like I wanted to end that conspiracy theory real quick.
In the music video, I will say this. In the music video where I'm playing, I am playing it. And I am playing the notes and like everything. That took me like 5 hours to be able to do. I got chubby fingers, man. Those are tiny strings.
You learned how to do that in 5 hours?
Yeah. It might have been less time. It pissed me off. That was a cool music video, though. That was fun.
That's quite fucking impressive, though, bro. Like in 5
Well, I don't know like how to play it. I learned how to play that song.
Yeah, I mean, but still, you know what I mean? Just learning like the melody of that and shit, like, and all the keys and stuff.
Well, I had help from DeRoe for sure. He's like, okay, this is the note, this is this. He just knew it by ear, and I was like, what would I do without this guy? Seriously, like, he makes me sound so good on my songs. Like, he's a phenomenal engineer. And then he's also dropping songs that are getting hundreds of thousands of streams on Spotify because he's a great artist, and it's just like, God, this guy is... If anybody
I've
blows up,
listened to
it's
a
gonna
few
go
of it.
him.
I've listened to a few of his songs, and that's not even the first time you said that. If anybody blows up, it's gonna be him.
Man, I live by that.
Like I said, I'm just like a huge homebody, so it's like I've never really met anybody. You know what I mean? And especially like in the Fargo scene.
Yeah, same way too. Like, I'm just like a loner type shit too, so I'm like the same way.
Dude, I became that. All I do, so like I was telling you, I was 350 pounds and I was like really drinking.
Yeah.
I got sober. Literally all I do is I work out, which I've lost 100 pounds so far.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
But, and sit at home. Like, I don't do jack shit. If you, like, before it was, oh, Ruch is out every night, it's going to be a fun night. And now it's like 6 months go by, and if I do pop out, it's fucking so many people come out because they're like, this never happens. And I'm like, I still don't drink. Like, it's not going to be any more fun that I'm out here. Like, I'm just going to sit here and talk some shit.
I couldn't even get this dude to go to the Woodbury. I'd be like, come play some blackjack with me. He'd be like, no shot.
Me? I went with you one time.
Me
and Enrique.
Enrique.
You know, he quit.
Yeah, oh yeah, he gone. He texted me the other day.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. I was trying to flirt with that girl. She had that boyfriend there. That was crazy. I would get myself in trouble, bro.
Weren't you drinking like non-alcoholic beers too?
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I had a slip up in January. I took a shot of Jack Daniels, and I think it was kind of because I was like drinking those NAs. I was like kind of triggering myself. So yeah, I don't drink those anymore.
Just gave you like temptation, basically.
Yeah. I also found out if you shotgun 12 like in a row really fast, you can catch a buzz.
No way.
I swear. It was spooky. Yeah, because there's still some alcohol in it. Like a little tiny amount.
Yeah.
And I ripped
that
like
dopamine.
12, 13 shotguns, just like bang, 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 bang. It was like terrible. Like totally not good for your health. No way. That much carbonation in like 45 seconds. But I caught a buzz and I was like, I'm like sitting at this hotel. I was out in Minneapolis at the time. And I was like,
I want to fucking drink.
is this? Am I? What? Because I hadn't been drunk or buzzed in like damn near a year. I was like coming up on a year. It was kind of shitty. I had to like restart the clock because I was like, oh, I almost had a year. But I was sitting there and I'm like, am I? I am. And then I was a fucking weirdo for the rest of the night because I was so just like uncomfortable with it. I was fucking... Sobriety's weird, man. It's great, but it's so weird to like... almost have to relearn who you are as a person because especially when you like, you know, you are as far into that addiction as I was with alcohol, is like your whole life becomes that. And like I got sober and I'm like, what do I like to do? Like I had no clue. I'd been drinking for 4 or 5 years. Like during that time, you really discover who you are. Yeah.
You're like, I used to skateboard, didn't I?
Yeah, for real. And like I was like even 6-7 months ago, I was like sitting at I had just moved in with my roommate. And I was like sitting in my room, and I realized that I had just been hanging out in my room doing nothing for like 2-3 weeks, just like chilling. And I'm like, what do I like to read? What do I like to do? And so I had to like relearn who I was, you know. And I do like to read. I found that out. I love to read, but it's a journey.
It's a good way to find yourself again, though, too.
Yeah, and I mean, I still am. Like, that's the crazy part is, like, even at this point, I'm, like, pretty confident in who I am as a person. But, like, there's still things that I don't know what I like fully. Like, you're still learning that after 4 or 5 years of just being, like, 16 through 21. And so that's been the big journey. I always make the joke, though, like, because I got into a fight a while back. I think it was Halloween. And I, you know... probably shouldn't have. I definitely started it. And I walked up to my friend and I go, hey, turns out it wasn't the alcohol. I am just a piece of shit. And so, like, there's a lot of, like, healing that goes along with it, too, though, like, having to, like, learn how to just be a decent human. You know, I had to go to therapy, and I, like, had to really just, like, fix some shit. And it's weird. It's uncomfortable, that's for sure. But it's cool. It works out in the end. I mean, now I couldn't be happier. You know, and I couldn't be happy without drinking previously. So it's like, it's tight, it's cool, but it's a journey. I appreciate that.
I guess like what was like the rock bottom where you were just like, yeah, this is it. Like it's time to.
It was about a span of 7 months. I'd gotten in a fight with somebody. This was like 2 months prior, and I kicked the shit out of him. It was bad, and I was blackout drunk off Jack Daniels. I loved it. I got in a fight probably every single night, and I'm at this bar. This guy's there, and he's like, "Hey man," and I'm like, "I don't want any problem. I'm just hammered." He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you a drink," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Starts feeding me Jack Daniels, and I'm loving it because I don't have to pay for it, right?
He's trying to take you home.
And a little phlegm. It's all the smoke in the air. But he's like, I'm like so fucking drunk, and he's like, "Hey, I'll take you home." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, whatever." I'm like stumbling, and I go to walk out the front. He's like, "Nah, let's go out the back." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I parked back there." I don't think anything of it. I don't know what the fuck's going on at this point. I'm so gone. I think I smoked weed at one point. I don't even smoke weed. Like, you know what I mean? You've known this. Like, I don't smoke weed. And so I did that. I was drunk. I probably did some other drugs. I'm certain of it. I loved my drugs, and I was drinking. And we go out the back, and I open up the door, and pop, I get cracked. I stumble back, catch myself, kind of just go into go mode, and start swinging. And next thing you know, like 4 dudes just hop in and rock my shit. My ankle got curb stomped. It was all swollen. I don't even know how the fuck I got home. And I call my dad because I'm like, I need my dad right now. I just got the shit beat out of me. I'm a 21-year-old grown man. And he comes and picks me up, and he brought me back to his house, and I'm like, I'm fucked up. I'm in so much pain. I'm crying. I swear to God, I'm crying. Just laying on my dad's couch. I'm there for like 2 or 3 days, kind of like let the leg heal up because I like couldn't walk. I'm finally walking again. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna drink again. Like, there's no reason this should have happened. I get home, go to the liquor store, buy a bottle, get fucking hammered again. So begins the cycle. And I just kept drinking. Just like terrible stuff would happen. I'd ruin friendships. I'd hurt people. I'd fight people. Like all that shit. I just talk so rude to everybody. And so I ended up like burning the bridges to the point that I had to move back home to Lemoore. Get in a car. I'm probably like a 30 rack deep. I'm driving around in the country. Blackout. Open my eyes. I'm laying in the fucking grass. Jeep's rolled over. And I'm like, yo, what just happened? So I start walking, end up getting picked up, get brought to the hospital. Get a DUI, obviously. Probably could have fought it in court and just said I was drinking on the walk, but I didn't think about that. I just was like, yeah, I'll take a breathalyzer. And then on the way home, never drinking again. And bought a bottle as soon as I got home, started drinking again, and I was just like, at this point, I didn't see my life going anywhere else. I was like, this is it. Like, I'm just going to be drinking in this house, being a bartender for the rest of my life. And this is where it gets weird. This is like the way the journey started to sobriety was like all these things happened and I just kept drinking. And then one day, I'm day drinking on a Sunday, having a great time. I want to go eat, and nobody will take me to go eat. And it pissed me off so much that I got home. And I was like, these guys only like to hang out with me because I drink, yada, 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 whatever. Got home, walk up to my homie, and I say, I'm never drinking again. I was so pissed off that these motherfuckers wouldn't give me no fries. And then, since then, yeah, I just like, that was it. So I have all these good reasons. Got the shit kicked out of me. Got a DUI. Ruined my relationship with my dad, my brother, all these people. Wasn't enough. And then, but somebody not giving me some French fries. I just got so angry that I was like, fuck this. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what it came down to. It wasn't even the French fries. It was the fact that, like, these are supposed to be my homies. That's what I'm saying. These dudes are supposed to be my homies.
Yeah.
They love to drink with me. We hang out all the time. But when I need one thing, and then the other thing was he wasn't going to give me a ride back home, and I only came to town because I knew he would drive me back home, and I was like 20 miles away. Damn. And like so, all that I started thinking, and I was like, why the fuck would I keep drinking, hanging out with these people when like something as small as getting me food or just doing what you said you were going to do doesn't happen? And you know, it was definitely deeper than the fries. And so yeah, I got home. I said, I'm never going to drink again. And yeah, here I am. That was March 12th, 2021, I want to say. Yeah. Here I am. Yeah, still not drinking.
That's good, bro.
But yeah, rock bottom was weird because it wasn't like rock bottom wasn't what made me change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got fired from a job that my dad. You ever been fired from a company your dad owned? Let me tell you how much of a piece of shit you got to be to do that. But I was just like, I lost that job. I was constantly drinking. Like I lost everybody, and like that was never good enough. Damn. Got one last drink. But yeah, I mean, rock bottom was weird because it wasn't enough. So maybe it wasn't my rock bottom. Maybe it's still waiting for me. We'll see what happens. Maybe I go on a bender.
Never know.
No, I couldn't. I always make that joke. Like, whenever I'm hanging out with homies and they're drinking, I'll, like, grab a bottle and be like, They're like, hey, I'll punch you. I'm like, first of all, none of you guys could take me.
Mm-hmm. he be like, trying to, like, test people with it, too. He, I remember we went to the windbreak one time, and he was just like, should I just get fucking just sloshed or what? I'm like, hell no. I was like, if you break your sobriety, I was like, they ain't gonna be with me.
Bro,
like,
I be saying that shit all the time. And, don't get me wrong, I still crave, like, the party and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But my life is so good now that I'm like, why would I throw that all away? True. But, yeah, we'll go out, and I'm like, oh, yeah, time to get hammered. And everybody's like, what do you mean by that? And obviously, I don't, but... Yeah, it's been cool.
I'm just happy for you guys.
I am the worst, though, for, like, when I do go out with the friends that drink, I will buy them so much fucking alcohol. And the reasoning, this is what I tell them, I'm always like, I can't drink, so I have to live vicariously through you, which means you have to drink like I used to drink. And then for real, like, you go out with this, like, everybody's got the homies that drink a lot, and they're like, oh, don't go out with him, you'll get hammered. I'm the sober guy, and I'm like, yo, you're fucking dying tonight. But I don't really go out that much. I did try like going to the bars and everything, but it's just so overplayed when you're not getting drunk. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
yeah, I mean, I don't drink, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be
I go
chilling.
to play blackjack. I go to little small time, little bars.
You have like 1 or 2 drinks. That's it.
Maybe.
I don't even know if you had a drink when we were hanging out. No. At the windbreak. Wanted me to freestyle. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Maybe it should happen. I do still have the rapper in my name.
Ooh.
But would it be a cappella? Or are you gonna beatbox for me?
Oh, I shoot. Beatboxer Jared retired after the middle school talent show.
No, I got a dry mouth. I'll give you a little something, and then I'll play. I'm gonna play that unreleased song after this for you. But you guys can hear the beat, right? Like that's not the beat. I'm doing it a cappella, but here we go. So much phlegm, I think it's sick. But yeah. Let's see here. I might incorporate some writtens into it, just because like it's a cappella. I can't go off a beat. It's weird, whatever. But oh my gosh. Somebody called the doctor, the kid is just getting sick again. That's it.
Bars.
Okay. Somebody called the doctor, the kid is just getting sick again.
But I'm not a rapper.
Somebody called the doctor, the kid is just getting sick again. In about a minute, call me Bradley, shipping limitless. Pretty motherfucker like my bitches, like a Christmas list. Fat around the back end, smelling like some cinnamon roll. Wanna go fast, not slow down. Laugh at the bank, I'm away right now.
Ooh, okay.
I'm on my way, watch it rain on down. If y'all don't know me, then don't start now. Whoa. Let me chill for a bit. I ain't sipping, I ain't worried about it, bitch. No way, I was raised on NWA. Bought a 40 from the corner store and drank it out the bag. It's like that, y'all. It's like that. No vanilla ice, my dog, I don't cap. No Bobby Brown, my dog, I won't crack. No Mike Vick, my dogs, they fight back. Ooh. It feels so weird to just rap a cappella. This has been fun, man. It's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I know you guys are like kind of moving locations and stuff, so it'll be tight to see how this goes.
I told him instantly whenever you like hit me up. I told him instantly. I was like, I know Homeboy wanted to be the first episode. I was like, Ruch got to be the first episode. Yeah. I was like, he has to be.
I definitely was like, hell no, I'm first. He said that right away. You're like, oh well, we already got one.
Yeah,
you'll be 2, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, he's like, that's what he said. He said no.
Nah, I wouldn't have cared either way if it was 1 or 2.
No, I'm salty as fuck.
This is the part of the interview where I get my shit rocked. And here it comes. Here's the chirp. Here's the shot that I thought I was going to take. The reason I don't have many features is because I just don't think people can stay up to par with what I'm doing.
Like J. Cole said, niggas ain't worthy to beat on my shit.
And and it's not necessarily like I'm not saying people suck around here because they don't. There's a lot of dope artists, but like
It's just that you really
they're in that lane. You know what I mean? And if I put them on something I'm doing,
Exactly.
that's why the only people you see me feature with are like Duro. You look at my whole catalog, I'll tell you the features you'll see: Tony the Butcher, Duro, Tomas Cherry. That's about it.
Yeah.
Besides like the OTB guys, I think that for me there's a difference between me featuring on somebody's track and them featuring on mine. I'm a lot more stingy with putting somebody on my shit.
Exactly.
Like,
if I came up with the chorus, the concept, and everything, like I'm very picky.
I think on the last, because like I was saying earlier, I got like 40, 50 songs in the vault. I'd say 5 of them have a feature, and it's Duro or Kid Vision, the 2 dudes I'm in a group with. I'm just like really not about that, but I get like people reach out to me all the time. Hey, can I do a feature? And it's always these new guys, and like it's no insult to them, but it's like you got to send me something better, bro. I'm attaching my name to this, and I'll kill it. I promise you that. Because like I charge. I definitely charge for features. I charge $100. If I rock with you, I cut it down. If it's a dope song and I rock with you, obviously I'm not charging to row for features. You know what I mean? None of us charge for features within the group, but like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the studio. I have to put my time into this. I have to do all this.
Your business, yeah.
And a lot of times, like people will be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," and then they fizzle out. You want a feature from me? My name carries weight. At the end of the day, it does. And, that sounds cocky, whatever it is. I put a lot of fucking work in over the last few years. You bring up Ruch and Fargo, people know. I can't even walk downtown anymore. This is probably the most surreal thing that's ever happened. We went downtown, me and my roommate the other night. I could not go more than 5-10 feet without somebody recognizing me as the Miss Serotonin guy. Wish they'd know my name, but hey, baby steps. Or Ruch, like it's constant. I'm constantly getting recognized now. And so if I'm going to put that and bring that to your song, pay me and bring a good song.
Exactly.
And I've never actually charged full price for a feature. Because it's like, if they send me a dope song, I definitely cut it down. I'm like, hey, yo, this is hard. Like, yeah, that's like, here's $50 back. And if I rock with them, I'm like, oh, $25, whatever. Like, it's not like a set price.
But it's gotta be nice.
If I went up to any artist in the state that I thought was dope, and I
that
said
should
to
be
them,
like your slogan. Like, what's the price? Depending if you're nice.
But yeah, no, if I like reached out to any artist that I thought was dope and I wanted them on one of my songs, and they said $100, there you go.
Exactly. And see, and see, exactly, and people don't understand that. Like, even starting with this, like, we've gotten so many people that just like, they're just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, just let me come on, just let me rap, just let me do this, let me get free studio time. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we were talking the other day, I was like, people don't understand. I was like, time is money, you know what I mean? Like, every time we speak into these microphones, that takes life off the microphones. Every time we use the computer, that takes life off the computer. Like, everything is money, you know what I mean?
But that's also how you can decide who's serious about it.
Exactly. Like, everything is money, exactly. And it's like, especially if you want like exposure and shit like that, like, it takes money, you know what I mean? Like, you can't...
I should charge you to have me on here. Nah, I'm just I'm just playing, bro. No, I was super pumped when I saw you made this, and I was really excited.
I think it was much needed.
Yeah, and I'm stoked to be a part of it, and I think it'd be cool, do a couple of them. Have me on a couple times.
We got some crazy ones.
Hello. You may be wondering what's about to happen, and I got a couple answers for you. This interview is about to be over, and after that, me and Dougie Davis are going to walk into the back room because it is still on site.
Alright, thanks for watching episode 1, Nodak Chronicles. I'm Dougie Davis.
Xavier Bow.
Nicholas Moore.
And catch us next time on the Nodak Chronicles.
Waste of my fucking time. No, I'm just playing.
Miss Serotonin, where'd you go? We smell the roses just for show. I need